If you touch government property, statues, monuments of any kind, you will serve 10 years with no probation, no early getting out. You go to jail for 10 years. Very simple. It was beautifully stated. They ought to release the J6 hostages. That's what they are, is hostages. They've been treated terribly.
We're trying to get compliance, but this is now effectively a riot.
To work with the people to treat those unbelievable patriots, and they were unbelievable patriots and are.
Breach of the Capitol to the upper levels.
We will give them pardons because they are being treated so unfairly.
Everyone, welcome to the Dating and Relationships Meetup, also to the Nonpartisan Red Pill Men's Group. Today, we're going to be talking about monogamy, and particularly monogamy in a post-feminist world. I put in a modern world, but really we're talking about a post-feminist world and how to get to monogamy. We're doing a book study on Rollo Tomasi's book, The Rational Male, and I will put the text up on the screen, and then we will go ahead and read it together. And we're reading the section on goal state monogamy as a goal versus as a product of dating non-exclusively. We'll start, and then after that, we'll open it up for discussion. And the discussion is open to whatever you want to talk about related to monogamy or to dating or to relationships. Sometimes we can get a little off, help some people out. So it looks like we're ready. So what I'm going to do is let's see, anything else I want to tell you about here before we get started. Yeah, remember, you can register for these programs at tinyurl.com/redpillmen, and you can join this conversation if you're listening to us watching us on Facebook at tinyurl.com/redpillmen.
You're right in that women have that inculcation of the entitlement philosophy. You can't fire me. Well, you can get fired. I've been fired from 2 jobs by pushing back up against the boss. I have pushed back against colleagues that I thought weren't doing the job right or had personalities that didn't mesh in with the rest of the department. You have to stand up for yourself, okay? You have to do it. Yes, the women, and the vast majority of women, have this attitude, but at the same time, when they feel it's not going to happen overnight, it'll probably take, who knows, maybe 10 more years. But at the same time, men, it's upon us to change. And when we change, they will change. But if you ask them now or try to negotiate with them or try to reason with the women about changing, as you're saying, it's already ingrained in them. Why should they give up their power?
Right. And that's one of the things that I would say is that women had a movement, a feminist movement. I mean, men had no motivation to change the way they were, but by starting a political movement, the women have effected that change on men, and men have changed. And one would think that women need to realize that they need to change too, because 1950 styles relationships are not what feminism is about. Feminism was a reaction against 1950 style relationships, with Betty Friedan's book, The Feminine Mystique, which talked about how dissatisfied women were in traditional stay-at-home type of relationships. Women with talent, women with abilities, were dissatisfied in that situation. Now, so we can, by changing ourselves, we can affect some change. But I think, Matthew, you've got a point, that women are not young women, and we're talking about the beautiful women, because I think a lot of women will pay. There's not a problem with a lot of women paying. They will pay maybe for a beautiful guy. One of you guys pointed that out. For a handsome man, they'll go ahead and pay. And they will pay for a male stripper to suck his penis, to even to have sex with him. They will pay for those guys, right? The problem is not so much that they believe they're equal, it's that they believe they're superior.
Hmm.
The relationships are not equal. We know that. Men die in war. We're trying to say, I'm trying to say at least, let's start with equality. But we know, well, oh no. And feminism is not about equality. Feminism is about pursuing women's interests. So it's imperative that we men stand up and also pursue our interests, as I said, particularly in our relationships with women, because they're not seeking equality, they're pursuing their interest. And they believe they're superior. They see us as puppy dogs,
When
sex
you,
addicts.
yeah. I mean, that's a rationalization. When you talk about the feminism, I want to make a distinction between the Betty Friedan feminism, because when she wrote the Feminine Mystique, she did advocate for women getting out of the home in order for them to work, but she did not demean men or nor blame men in her book about the condition. She said there was a patriarchy, but she didn't blame men. The fourth wave feminism, they blame men going all the way back to the 16th century. They blame men for everything, for their monthly uh, periods, for everything. And men absorb it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right. That's right. Men do not stand up for themselves in those situations. And I think that's part of the propaganda, that we are such a highly propagandized people. Propaganda has become so prevalent. I mean, we're being turned into a dictatorship. Yeah, Russia, big governments are spreading propaganda, big government programs. These are really high level things that are being distributed to us. And the negativity towards men in some of these ads and some of this propaganda is really hate speech. It's misandry, which is hatred of men. So they're not just, it's not that they think they're equal. It's in their mind, they believe they're superior.
Yeah, but Rich, I mean, at a certain and I hear this, I hear what you guys are saying about, oh, women are gonna be single and they're gonna learn their lesson. I think a lot of that is cope. Like, it doesn't matter. There's always gonna be some women who don't want you. Like, just understand that, right? And we have to keep in mind that we're not in the 1950s. Like, it doesn't matter how much money you make. They're not gonna just get with an ugly guy with money because they have their own money, right? They have their own money, which means that you should put your wallet away and lead with your masculinity, lead with other things that look at that woman that you guys are talking about, who's a pretty woman on TikTok or whatever. She's crying about where all the good guys are. She got that way by using dating apps. She would swipe right on maybe like 1% of men that she thought were physically attractive. And now those men don't need her because they'd be dating down by getting with her and giving her a rock solid monogamous relationship. They don't need her. She needs them. So that is literally the playbook that a lot of women are using. The average woman doesn't want the average guy. So in that situation, you just have to spot who these women are up front and not waste time on them. That's why I brought up that guy earlier, my friend who goes on dinner dates. He keeps paying for dinner dates. He never hears from these women again. Like, you guys, some of you guys are like that guy, just like going after women who don't want you, who don't have a burning desire for you. And then we're like blaming propaganda. No, I think a lot of it falls on us and like responsibility that we take to weed these time wasters out. And as much as I like Red Pill, I think if it focused more on techniques and like how we can best learn from our mistakes, I think we'd be in a much better position. But I think at a certain point, I think Red Pill just has gotten so big and there's so many different voices. There's a lot of idiots that have gotten to the Red Pill space and like for and steering it the wrong direction for nefarious purposes. But I think if we just got back to like how to preserve our masculine essence and put forth our best features, put away our wallets, lead with masculinity, I think we'd have a lot better luck in the dating market as well.
I think that's a very good point. I think that there's also been a lot of propaganda about the red pill, that the liberal probably have demonized the red pill. And I do think it's become way too broad. It's been used for describe a bunch of stuff away from what it was originally, which was examining it was about women's behavior and how we can have a better relationship with women. And I think that's part of what we're doing here, trying to have those techniques, have this discussion, try and figure this stuff out. And I kind of feel though that there are a lot of women out there who will pay, who will go out with you, but they're not the attractive ones. You know, the pretty ones, the 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s. And I know you said 7, you know, I might be happy with a 7. Why should I settle for 6, 5, or 4? If I can't get the woman I want, you know, I'm just not going to commit to anybody. I mean, the women themselves, they will just stop, retire from the business of relationships if they don't get what they want. And I think it's true that women are just choosing the top men. And part of the thing is that some of these other women, you know, like I have sex with women that want to take me out and pay for me, and I have a diverse sexual palette. Like I said, I'm okay with it, and it allows me to date more beautiful women who want to hold me over a barrel for sex. And I can just say, oh, we don't need to have sex. But that usually like just blows their mind, and they're like, what the heck's going on here? This is not reality. What's he saying? He's having sex with, you know. And this idea that we can spin plates, right, without implying that we're being exclusive with any one woman. And as I've found from experience, you have to be careful not to talk too specifically about it, though. Indirect communication is the best way. But the woman's going to figure out, she's going to start asking questions, you know. And I have women, like Friday, I had like 4 or 5 women. I'm on a date, and I got 4 or 5 women texting me, you know, trying to find out what I'm doing, you know, and they know I'm with somebody else. But you try not to talk about it too much because that really screws them up. But, you know, and also, you know,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be exclusive until it's solid, until I know that this relationship is solid, because opportunity cost, like Clint mentioned, opportunity cost. I got women who will marry me if I ask them. I've got women who will do those things. I'm not giving them up just to live with a woman, to commit to a woman after being with her for 4 weeks, because all she really wants to do is decide whether we should be together. That's not what commitment is about. How do we get to this situation with all this sex and the sexual liberation movement and all these, and all of a sudden now the women are telling us, it's basically saying, I won't have sex outside of marriage. I won't have sex outside of a committed exclusive relationship. It's controlling, and women are asking for too much. That's the big problem. Can't possibly commit to a woman or be exclusive with a woman after 4 weeks. Can't possibly do it. Why would a woman expect that or demand that? I'm not going to do it. Any man in their own mind, you got to be desperate to jump onto that. And even if you are desperate, you've got to hide that desperate and put her off. You've got to put her off for a while, or else she won't even respect you anymore. So, yeah.
Why do the rich marry 2, 3, or 4 times? Because they want a monogamous relationship. They can afford it, but they're willing to risk their assets. What about Bezos and who's the other billionaire? Oh, Gates. Billions of dollars? There isn't a woman on this planet who's worth $100 million in a divorce. Yet these women are getting billions of dollars in divorce because the love is gone. No, not worth it. Okay? You have to protect your assets. And the point that I'm getting to, and I've already stated, is that men want intimacy and want to trust the women. They don't know how to properly vet the women. Because if they did, then they could find out relatively early that this woman is marrying you for your money. I made the distinction the other day when I was talking to some of my friends. I was saying to them, a woman can genuinely love you, and that love can be strong, like a solar flare, strong, but it's still fragile. All you got to do is just decrease your income by about 20, 25%, and that woman who genuinely loved you, finding out that your income is gone, you're unemployed, or you want to change jobs, or you want to become a freelancer, she will either not love you anymore, or her love for you will be decreased.
Yeah, but that's the
She was
thing.
never attracted in the first place. She was
No,
never
but that's the
attracted to you in
thing.
the first place. She was in it for the money. You just
No,
literally answered
I
yourself.
no, it's biologically ingrained in women to leave and not have any regrets. because it's a survival mechanism. Like if you go back to like prehistoric times and Neolithic eras,
Yeah, but Matthew,
like
prehistoric times, women didn't. They needed the man for survival. We don't live
yeah,
in a world where women need a man for
but their
survival.
brains
They
hasn't
have their own
changed.
jobs. I live in a big
But their
city.
brains
If you
haven't
look at big
changed.
cities, women are out
Okay.
earning men in big
Yeah, but
cities.
I'm
They do
not
not need a
talking
man for
about
his
the
resources.
scenario.
Jay,
I'm not talking about the scenario. I'm talking about the ability to be able to leave a man when they feel their life is in danger. Like we might not comprehend that like infidelity, but it's ingrained in them biologically to be able to say, "Wow, this guy isn't going to like be able to like secure me and like keep me alive. I better go like walk 20 miles that way and go find another guy." Like that's what their brains like are built for, and it hasn't changed in like a couple million years. And so like even though they have jobs and they can supply their own resources, like when they see incompetence, when they see that you're incompetent or they're like it, their security is endangered, they're not going to like blink twice to leave. And it has nothing to do with like disrespect. It's a survival mechanism. It's something that they just talently, innately can do.
Yeah,
And
I think
right.
that's right, Matthew. I think that in some sense, women, and this is the main problem, women are initiating 70% of the divorces. Women are innately designed to leave us the moment that we show we are not as high a value as they thought we were. And even the fact of getting into a committed relationship is all a ploy in some ways. That what it does, it relieves the women's competition anxiety, which allows her to then relax and keep her eye open for the better deal. And she's got this guy locked down, or to some degree, he's locked down. And now she's free to keep her eye open for other guys. And that's just their innate strategy. And this is why a lot of guys doing MGTOW have something right, that if this is how women are innately designed to leave you, the moment the next best thing comes around, then why marry? Why? Why?
Mhm.
There's no commitment to you. Why get into a? I tell these women this, and they don't really hear. What commitment have you made to me? 4 weeks in the relationship, you have made no commitment. Where's it's not? It's certainly not death do us part. And they say, well, you can't do that. They take the extreme view. We never know how things are going to last. Yeah, right. Because you're going to be looking around. That's why. And so, and I better know that this is a solid, good relationship before I'm going to give up those other women who would marry me if I asked them. So I think that's right. They're set up to leave us, and that's their strategies. So,
Like I said about Cooper, he said the women are always waiting for the winners.
yep, sitting at the finish line waiting for the winners. Right? They don't care about your struggles. Tell them about your struggles, their eyes will glaze over. They'll start turning around. They won't hear a word you're saying. They really don't listen to what we say oftentimes, you know. And that's one of the things that's a problem. And you're right there, Robert. It can be an awful deal for men, and you should have that prenup and make sure if you're going to get married. And one of the things if I can't find the woman I want, a beautiful woman who doesn't put money at the top of the list, which is very, very rare, I'll just continue the way I am. But some men are not able to do that. They need intimacy and affection. And my advice is get yourself intimacy. There are a lot of women who need it, and they may not be pretty, and you may feel like you're dating down, but if you're not dating up, you got to have that backbone. You got to have not backbone, but you got to have that source of sex. You got to have other women wanting you and being with you, and then you can spend your time trying to get those stupid other women who think they deserve everything in exchange for sex.
Me myself, I've never been prone towards marriage. Never. I also have told people I wouldn't even recommend people living together. because marriage leads to divorce. You can't have a healthy, long-lasting relationship without marriage. I'm all for monogamy. And I'm all for if a man wants to date other women until he finds that one special woman. And I'm all for women doing the same thing. Of course, it's hard to find it, but as long as a man is honest, is not a player, I'm all for it. But I'm not for marriage. I'm
Yeah.
for companionship, but I am not. I don't like the state and people from religion telling me that I have to state my love in front of your sanctions. I have to be sanctioned by you in order for me to have an intimate relationship with somebody that I love. Stay out of my business.
Yeah, I don't blame you, especially the way women um, tend to use men nowadays, and it's time for them to face up to the facts and and change themselves. But like Matthew said, the younger and the more beautiful women are, they have no motivation, and they think that even women my age who are beautiful but not perfect, maybe even overweight. There's delusion out there.
I
Still
mean, they're
think,
also gonna, I feel like they're also gonna pressure you because like women might not want to be in a marriage, but they want a wedding. Every girl wants to walk down the aisle in a white dress and have her whole family watch her get married to the guy of her dreams, even if the marriage only lasts like a couple years. But like women are gonna pressure you because they want that ceremony. They've been dreaming about it since they were little girls, you know?
yeah, they love the idea of being married. They love the idea of having a guy like Joe mentioned. They love the idea of moving to America. Do they love the guy? Not so much. It's kind of like a side thought. The guy is kind of like, well, is he going to be with? Is he going to be a good guy? As long as he has that other stuff, can I live with him? Can I tolerate him? And
Yeah, but what they're about is the bridezilla complex. But women actually look more forward to the wedding than they do the marriage.
yeah, I can imagine that. You know, we're overtime now, so I don't want to keep people beyond their scheduled time, but I also enjoyed this discussion. I wanted to keep it going so that everybody gets everything to say. I know, Jay, you were saying something, and I don't know if you wanted to make some final comments or not.
No, I think I kind of said everything I wanted to say, but awesome discussion today, guys.
All right. Thank you,
Looking forward
everybody,
to the
for
next one.
coming. Right. Next month, we're doing the last part of the section on plate theory, and I'll have to figure out what I'm gonna name it here. Let me see if I can find it here.
Before
Plate,
we wrap up, I want to say something.
yeah. What's that, Joe?
I said, when you're finished and before you wrap up, I want to say something when you're finished.
Okay. So, ladies' game. Ladies' game, you can't see it here. That's what we're going to be talking about. The girl game. Women have game too. They want to label it as monogamous relationships versus non-monogamous relationships. They want to redefine in their social constructs our concepts of defining relationships and act as if having sex with one guy at a time is monogamy. It's not. Serial monogamy is not monogamy. But anyway, ladies' game, register for that at tinyurl.com/redpillmen and look for our recordings and subscribe. It would be great if you guys would subscribe to the YouTube page, the Nonpartisan Red Pill Men's Group YouTube page, and also share and like, and also on Facebook. Yeah. And extracting resources. Yes, Jay, that's ladies' game in some way. In fact, the whole system is designed to extract resources from men. So go ahead, Joe.
I want to emphasize what Jay was saying. Men, lead with your masculinity. Don't worry about your resources, your assets. They're for you, and you can share them with the woman if you find the right woman. But if not, then you can live for yourself, but you lead with your masculinity, and don't define your masculinity the way women do, that you have to be a man that's going to share those resources, that you have to entertain, you have to pick up, you have to pay for. That's not a man, okay? I'm not saying that's a simp. I'm saying that's a gentleman, but if a simp allows a woman to walk all over him, then he's a simp. Lead with your masculinity. You're a man, okay? A man. You are in wars. You are in 90% of the construction industries. You built the infrastructure. You're the one that protects and provide. Lead with that. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, that's right. I often say lead with sex, although that's probably not the right way. But you're a lover. You're the guy who's making you happy. And that's what I offer, right? You know, so, and then chivalry means do shit for me. So, you know, don't let them manipulate you like that. All right. Walk like a man, my son. Thank you, Robert. I'm a dog, huh? All right.
Walk like a man. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you, guys. I'll see you next month. Good luck on whatever you're doing with women, and I'll see you next month. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Rich. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Matthew. Everyone for participating. It's fantastic.
Hope, Gus, and Gwen, you are my entire world, and I love you.
Some say of Donald Trump and the MAGA movement that the cruelty is the point. They're right. When Governor Tim Walz took to the stage at the DNC, he showed us not only a proud vision for America, but a deep love for his family. Building an America that's better, more compassionate, is personal for Tim Walz, whose son Gus has special needs. Gus exploded with love for his father after he took the stage.
The camera caught him so incredibly proud of you, so emotional, saying, "That's my dad."
I'm grateful I got to experience it, and I'm so proud of him.
It was a wonderful moment for any decent person watching. But MAGA is anything but decent. Insults, mockery. These are the voices of Trump's enablers, the people who make up Donald Trump's movement. What kind of people taunt a disabled child? Trump's people. It's time to ask, is this who you are? Is this how you're raising your children? Is this what you want from a president?